Namaste, I'm Rashmi. I'm the embryologist and the IVF lab director at Tamara Hospital and IVF Center, Rajajinagar, Bangalore. This video is going to give you a brief idea as to what an embryology lab looks like at our center and some of the important equipments that are involved in the IVF procedure and the embryo development. So this is the workstation called the laminar airflow, where the basic screening of the follicular fluid to separate the follicles and also to change the droplets of the embryos. All that happens in this workstation. This is called the laminar airflow, which has an air purifier which called the HEPA filter, which filters the air and then releases pure air, which should be on all the time. These are the incubators 1, 2 and 3. This is where the eggs after the ICSI are kept for the further development for the next 3 to 5 days. This is where the eggs are kept. This is the ICSI machine or the intracytoplasmic sperm injection machine. This is where the eggs and sperm are fused with the help of microscope. The holding needle holds the egg and the injecting needle. Now the sperms are always motile, so the tail of the sperm is slashed so that it becomes immotile, aspirated into this injecting needle, and with the help of the microscope the sperms are injected into the egg. That procedure happens here. So after the ICSI procedure, your eggs, once they are injected with the sperm, they are incubated in these incubators for the next 3 to 5 days for further growth and development. So in the IVF laboratory, we are aiming to provide the same atmosphere and the ambience that an egg and the gametes receive in our uterus to achieve a pregnancy. So in the IVF laboratory, it becomes very important to provide these gametes with good air quality. So at Tamara, we have 3 air purifiers and also a positive air pressure module to maintain a very good air quality in the IVF laboratory. After the embryo transfer, normally we transfer only 2 embryos. The rest of the embryos are frozen and preserved at -198 degree under liquid nitrogen. And these embryos can be thawed and reused or transferred whenever required. So until then, these embryos remain in liquid nitrogen. So this is the laminar airflow. Here is where the important procedures like screening your follicular fluid for oocytes and the daily assessment of your eggs and embryos, and also the loading of embryos into the catheter happens at this very stage called the laminar airflow. So once the follicular fluid is aspirated, it is screened for eggs. Eggs are separated and incubated for the next 2 to 4 hours in this incubator for the cytoplasmic maturation. After 2 to 4 hours, a procedure called denudation is performed, where the eggs are denuded or pipetted to remove the cumulus cells that are around the egg to assess the quality and maturation of the egg. After denudation, a procedure called ICSI is performed, where a single healthy sperm is injected into the egg. These eggs are further cultured in the incubators for the next 3 to 5 days. Depending on the quality of these embryos, the embryos are either transferred on the 3rd day or 5th day into the woman's uterus. The embryos are loaded into the catheter and handed over to the gynecologist, where with the help of an ultrasound, the gynecologist deposits these embryos into the woman's uterus.